Teens, thank you for joining me for Teen Scene. I'm doing a life skills series for teens and tweens. So what I'm going to show you today is laundry. Everybody does laundry different. Everybody does different. There's different ways to do it. But if you've never done laundry before, I'm going to show you how I was taught to do it and stuff that I have learned over time. First things first is you need to sort your laundry, okay? You sort it. You got your darks and your reds. Do the reds with the darks because the reds have a tendency to run, which you don't want your light colored clothes to start coming out pink. So, darks and reds, and then you got your lights, colors, however you want to call it, and then you got your whites. Okay? So you separate them. Some people do sheets and towels separate too. Whatever, doesn't matter. You know, you throw them in with the lights. I guess it depends on, maybe they're stinky from cleaning something up. I don't know, whatever. Okay, so you get them sorted. Next, you need to check the label for the care instructions. So, on the back, on the front, sometimes it'll tell you, sometimes it'll give you symbols. So I will post some of this stuff so that you guys can take a look at it if you want. If you want a copy, you can. So care instructions, which you probably can't read very well because I can't figure out how to get my thing to go backwards, but that's okay. So you got your wash symbols, you got your bleach symbols, your dry symbols, iron, dry cleaning. So basic, plain wash, permanent press, delicates. So how intense the cycle. If it's a slow spin, slow agitation, or just regular, this will tell you how hot to wash it. Obviously, less dots means the lower the temperature. If you can bleach it, bleach or no bleach, different drying symbols, how hot to dry it, if you need to line dry it or lay it flat. So after you do that, you know how to sort them further into piles. Most things wash on cold, whatnot. So as you're sorting, you also need to pre-treat before you put them in the wash. So there's different types of stains. When you're pre-treating a stain, you want to dab it instead of rubbing it, because if you rub it, you can make the stain bigger, and you can sometimes rub it real hard into the fibers and make it harder to get out. So if you dab it, it makes it easier because it'll soak up that instead of like rubbing it around. So the 4 basic stains that I'm going to tell you about are protein, food grease. So grease, ink, and grass and dirt. So protein-based stains, bodily fluids, milk, eggs, baby formula, glue, deodorant, mud, stuff like that. You can look up a whole list of things. So 4, protein-based stains. It says rinse in cold water right away and soak in cold water until washed. So that will, and then you can use like pre-treater spray. So next, food grease, which is harder to get out. If anybody's ever spilled cooking oil or bacon grease. So bacon grease, french fries, cooking oil, that kind of stuff, obviously. So I use Blue Dawn a lot. It's all purpose. They use it to wash baby animals, get the oil out of them, so you know that it's gonna be good for greasy, oily stuff. So what you do is you put a little bit on your spot and you rub it in gently, and then when you were dealing with stains, You don't want to use hot water and you don't want to dry it because the heat will set the stain and you will never get it out. So, yep, work it in real well. Wash it and then line dry it. Because if you let it air dry, it's not adding the heat and it's not setting the stain. So then you take a look at it. If the stain is gone, yay, then you put it away. If not, a lot of stains you have to repeat the process, depending on how bad it is. So you just kind of do it over and over again until it's gone, or until you give up and you wear it anyways, or you get rid of it. But okay, so next, ink. I've never had to deal with an ink stain, so I had to look this one up. Let's see, there's a couple different ways that are both safe for all fabrics. There's lots of different ways to get it out, but not every way is safe for all types of fabrics. So the first one is a baking soda. Mix 2 parts water to 1 part baking soda, mix it into a paste, and then use a cotton ball to dab it on there, and that should help soak up the ink and the stain, and hopefully that will get rid of it. After you do that, you rinse it. If it's gone, you throw it in the wash. If not, do it again. The other one is a vinegar soak. Let's see. So it says soak it in 1-to-1 vinegar and water. Obviously, cold water, not hot water. Well, warm water, not hot water. Because if you've ever tried to mix anything in cold water, you know that it doesn't mix very well. But warm, like lukewarm water, will work better. Okay, so then you soak it for 30 minutes, and about every 10 minutes you dab the stain, you blot the stain, and then hopefully it goes away. If not, repeat. Okay, so grass and dirt. There's detergent and vinegar solution that you can do. So dab 1-to-1 mixture of warm water and white vinegar on stain. So you mix it up and then you dab it on there. Saturate it well, make sure it gets in there, and then you let it sit for 5 minutes, and then you apply the detergent to the stain and you rub it in. If you're using powdered detergent, you'll obviously have to add a little bit of warm water to mix it into a paste, but you can use that as well. So it says massage gently so as not to ruin the fabric, because if you get too vigorous, you can use a toothbrush with soft bristles and very gently, like kind of rub it, but you don't want to ruin the fabric of the clothes if you get too, enthusiastic, if you scrub too hard. You don't want that. Okay, so you let that sit for 10 to 15 minutes, you rinse it, you check. If it's not gone, obviously do it again. The other one is alcohol. Isopropyl alcohol is a solvent that will dislodge any color from stains, from what I've heard. So you wet a cotton ball with the cotton ball or sponge with the alcohol, and then dab it on the stain generously again. If it's delicate, then you want to use like a 1-to-1 water to alcohol ratio, which will dilute it so it's not quite so, and that should work. So obviously air dry, rinse, and if it's gone, so you rinse, cool water, and then apply liquid detergent and gently massage for 5 minutes. Then you rinse it, you let it air dry. If it's gone, yay. If not, you do it again. Okay. So after you've got things pre-treated and you've got things sorted and you're ready to throw them in the wash, you gotta throw them in the wash, but you can't just throw them in because it will unbalance your machine. So you gotta kind of put them in and make sure that they're not kind of like this. You gotta even it up, kind of make it a circle. So you don't have a bunch of heavy stuff on one side, a bunch of light stuff on the other side. It can ruin your machine. It can ruin your floor, your walls, whatever it's banging up against. And you will definitely be able to tell if it's unbalanced, because if it's really imbalanced, it will seem like your washing machine is possessed because it will shake and shimmy, it will move around, and that's not good. Like I said, it can break the washer, can ruin floors and walls and things. So takes a little practice, just making sure it's balanced, everything's kind of even out. So then, detergent. So I personally wash everything on cold except for whites, or if it's really germy, because let's see. There's a number of reasons why. I looked this up. So companies like Procter & Gamble have developed new detergents that work just as well in cold water as in warm water. Except for powder detergents. If you're using powder, obviously you got to use warm because it won't dissolve like in cold water like it will. Like I said, if you've tried to mix stuff in cold water, it doesn't mix. So things don't dissolve. So if you're using powdered, use warm water. Otherwise, cold is just as good. But like I said, everybody does their laundry different. So however you do your laundry, but some stains only come out with cold water. Like I said, if you use hot water, it can set the stain. So if you use cold, then you're more likely to get it out. Colors stay brighter. And clothes keep their shape, size and shape longer. It doesn't, because when things get warm, they expand. When they get cold, they shrink. So it helps with that. Okay, so it's also greener too. So 90% of energy required to power your washing machine goes into heating the water according to Energy Star. So I'll post this, I'll post links. You can take a look at the articles that I read, so you can see what I'm talking about. But however you do your laundry, that's fine. These are just things that, so, okay, one more thing. Personal finance blogger Trent Ham of the Simple Dollar estimates that switching to cold water washes instead of warm or hot could save the average family more than $200 a year. So, there you go. That's why, part of the reason why I wash my clothes in cold, except for whites when I'm doing bleach, because things, you know. Okay, so make sure your load is balanced. So obviously, when you get your detergent, read the instructions. Don't just fill the cup because different detergents require different amounts of fill for different things. So do that. I throw my clothes in, start the water, throw the detergent in, unless I'm doing bleach. So bleach obviously will ruin clothes. So a lot of washers, not all washers, a lot of washers have a special bleach cup where you, half a cup or so of bleach per load. I've heard up to a cup. I don't usually do that much, but I guess it depends on how germy it is. So put the bleach in the bleach cup. It will hang on to it until it's ready to put it into the wash. Or if you don't have one, I always wait until my washer fills, and when it stops filling, then I'll put it in, so that way it's not put on the clothes, sitting on the clothes, ruining clothes. It's diluted in the water and gets mixed up. So, okay. Then, okay. So after that, I usually do a second rinse on my clothes, just because it helps get everything out. If you accidentally put too much detergent in or something, it will help with that. So like if you're doing liquid fabric softener, you're supposed to put it in with the rinse. Adding stuff to the rinse, like I said, I always do a second one because then I don't actually have to pay attention to when it gets to that part. I can just start it at the rinse and add it and then let it go. So, okay, so then you do all that, clothes are washed, ready to go in the dryer. So I personally, I don't use liquid fabric softener. I don't use dryer sheets. I'm very sensitive to smells, and those are way, way too smelly for me. I use, as a fabric softener, I use vinegar. You put half a cup in the rinse, and that helps with softening the fabric. It also helps with static cling. No, your clothes don't smell like vinegar because it's not that much. It gets rinsed out. So you don't need to worry about them smelling like vinegar. It just helps with the softening and that. So I use that in the rinse, and then I use wool bowls in the dryer. These are kind of nice because they are reusable, and you can put, if you want, vinegar and wool bowls are good if you have sensitive skin, sensitive smells, but if you want your clothes to smell nice, because obviously they're not going to make it smell like flowers or whatever, you can put a couple drops of essential oil on these, and then when they dry, they transfer that smell to the clothes. So that's how I do it. Like I said, it also saves money because you don't have to buy dryer sheets all the time. Okay, let's see. So you throw them in, you turn the dryer on. So now you got to figure out how high to dry your clothes. I have an older dryer, so I got high, medium, and low. A lot of newer dryers have fancy cycles, like cotton, permanent press, gentle, air dry, other things. I don't really know about those, but I kind of looked it up just in case some people did. So, okay, so heavy cotton items like jeans and towels, sweats, those you would dry on high heat or a cotton setting. Everyday items like t-shirts or synthetic fabrics, those you would dry on a medium heat or a permanent press. Delicate or stretchy items like yoga pants, lingerie, workout clothes, a low heat, because especially with the stretchy stuff, the elastic, high heat is going to damage that elastic and all that. So knits and delicate items like sweaters, not just like sweatshirts, but like knit sweaters, the nice ones, those you don't want to add heat to because they will shrink. So you can either lay them out flat to dry, or you can do an air dry cycle on the dryer. The air dry cycle or fluff cycle, that doesn't add heat, it just pulls in air from the room and circulates that air in there. So there you go. When they're dry, you pull them out, you fold them. If you line dry them, I like to do line dry during the summer. I usually turn mine inside out because I know the sun bleaches out color, and I figure I'll start on the outside, work the way, I don't know. But if you add half a cup of vinegar to the rinse, that will help soften the clothes because clothes dried on line get stiffer. Also, if you shake them out before you hang them up like that, that simulates the tumbling of the dryer, so that will help soften the clothes. If you wait for a windy day where there's a lot of tumbling action, then that will also help with the softening of the clothes. So clothes folded, put away, different ways you can fold things. I roll up a lot of things because it saves space. So I don't have a lot of space. So shirts, underwear, socks, stuff. So if you fold it kind of like this, and then you just roll it, then it doesn't take up as much space as if you folded it, say, you know, however you fold it. So, I mean, not that it takes up a lot of space, but it takes up, yeah. So, anyways, folding towels. Everybody folds towels differently. This is how I was taught to fold towels by my mother, because, you know, when you gotta hang up a towel, right? Well, you can't hang it up this way because there's not a lot of space, right? So what I do is I fold it this way, because then you don't have to unfold it all the way to hang it up. You fold it, you have it like that. And then when you go to unfold it, see, bam, it's all ready to hang up. So, you know, everybody does theirs different. This is how I was taught, so this is how I'm telling you. So the last thing I'm going to show you is how to fold sheets. Well, how to fold fitted sheets. When I worked at a hotel, I learned how to fold fitted sheets because you can't just wad sheets and stuff them. So I'm going to show you the trick that I learned. Okay, this is also how I learned to tell the top from the sides of queen sheets. So you want to get your fingers in the corners. Okay, and then as you see, as you try to stretch it, I can't stretch my arms out all the way. I know you can't see it very well because so this would be the top, because the top is a little shorter than the bottom. So if I get my fingers in the corners for this way and I try to stretch it, see, my fingers don't stop. So, okay, so what you do is you find the first corner, you stick your finger in the corner, you follow the elastic to the second corner, stick your finger in the corner, put your fingers together, and there you go. So you got two corners on one finger. So make sure that your sheet's not all tangled up. You keep going around, you find the third corner, hang on to it with this hand, find the fourth corner, stick your finger in, and then go back to the third corner. This is just easier, okay. And then you got two corners on each finger, put your fingers together, and okay, there you go. And then you kind of shake it out. Okay, then you got a semblance of a square. Okay. So then you fold it or lay it out. Control. Okay. So it's kind of a square. You kind of straighten those up. So when I was doing it in the hotel, they do it in thirds and then thirds. Takes up a little less space. I don't do it that way anymore, but I just fold it in half, and then you can kind of, you can't really see very well, but see, you kind of tuck this so it's a nice straight line, and then you just fold it, and then fold it, depends on if you want it that way, whatever, but then you got a nice little bundle. So, and it's a fitted sheet. Yay! And not in the book, because I used to do that. I used to wad it up, throw it in the cupboard, because they are a pain in the butt until you learn the trick. Okay. So, like I said, I'll post this with some links so that if you guys want to or copy things or whatever, you can print it, or you can see the articles that I kind of read for the information. Anyways, for those teens who don't know how to do laundry, hopefully you have a better idea and you can do it. Yeah, thank you for joining me. I'll see you next time.